Gainsay. ব্যতিক্রম. Take exception to.
Gainsay, a verb, means contradict or speak out against. When you challenge authority, you gainsay, as in teachers don't like it when unruly students gainsay them. Gainsay comes from an Old English word that means contradict or say against, as in, no one dared gainsay the principal, who is well known for giving detention to students who so much as frown at him. If you know someone who constantly corrects others, tells them that they are wrong, and says, "That's not true," more than anyone else, you have first-hand experience with the art of the gainsay. The gain part comes from the Old English word gan dash, meaning against or in opposition to. In Middle English, gan was joined to sayan, to say to form gainsayan, which led to the modern word gainsay. So when you see gainsay, think to say against, that is, to deny or to contradict. Gainsay, deny or contradict, a fact or statement. Hashtag mnemonic, gainsay tilde gain plus say. Everyone is saying that she has gained weight, but she's trying to gainsay the fact.
Gainsay. ব্যতিক্রম. Take exception to.
Synonym.
Contravene, controvert, cross, deny, disagree, disclaim, disprove, dispute.
Antonym.
Accept, acknowledge, admit, agree, aid, allow, approve. Gainsay is a verb. Noun of gainsay is gainsayer. It was hard to make clear what the mate meant, but all to a 22 certain extent understood, and no one ventured to gainsay it.
Gainsay. ব্যতিক্রম. Take exception to. Garrulous. তুচ্ছ কথোপকথনে পূর্ণ. Full of trivial conversation.
A garrulous person just won't stop talking, and talking, and talking, and talking. Garrulous comes from the Latin word garrea for chattering or prattling. If someone is garrulous, he doesn't just like to talk, he indulges in talking for talking's sake, whether or not there's a real conversation going on. If you discover that you have a garrulous neighbor sitting next to you on the plane, you might just want to feign sleep, unless you really want to hear everything going through his mind for the entire trip. That Latin root is probably imitative in origin, that is, it was coined to imitate what it refers to. English has a number of words that are imitative in origin, among them several others that describe ways of talking, such as babble and chatter. A talkative someone who speaks all garbage, trivial stuff out loud is being garrulous. The gar dash in garrulous should thus remind you of garbage, and the loose should remind you of loud.
Garrulous. তুচ্ছ কথোপকথনে পূর্ণ. Full of trivial conversation.
Synonym.
Chatty, glib, loquacious, voluble, babbling, blabbermouth, chattering, quiet, silent, mum, reserved, still, untalkative. Garrulous is an adjective. The adverb of garrulous is garrulously. The noun of garrulous is garrulousness. I was lively and loquacious and garrulous and all those sorts of things, and I performed and did stand up.
Garrulous. তুচ্ছ কথোপকথনে পূর্ণ. Full of trivial conversation. Rod. একটি সূক্ষ্ম রড একটি প্রাণীর উপর তাগিদ দিতে ব্যবহৃত. A pointed rod used to urge on an animal.
A goad is a pointy stick or other instrument used to prod something along. To goad is to poke something with that pointy stick. Either way, the pointiness is really essential for making things leap into action. Originally spelled gad, meaning spearhead, goad first came into use as a verb in the 1570s. But say you left your pointy goading stick at home. Have no fear. You can goad people with words, too. Literally or figuratively, a goad prods and pokes and provokes people into doing something. A sheep herder might hustle his flock along with a goad, just as your mom's constant nagging and goading might finally get you sit up straight at the dinner table. When you goad someone, they go do something for you. To goad is how you get a goat to go.
রড একটি সূক্ষ্ম রড একটি প্রাণীর উপর তাগিদ দিতে ব্যবহৃত। A pointed rod used to urge on an animal.
Synonym:
Catalyst, compulsion, desire, drive, impetus, impulse, incentive, insight. Goad is a noun. The verb of goad is also goad. The threat of legal action should goad them into complying. As a verb, the threat of legal action is a powerful goad to companies that have ignored the regulations. As noun,
রড একটি সূক্ষ্ম রড একটি প্রাণীর উপর তাগিদ দিতে ব্যবহৃত। A pointed rod used to urge on an animal. Gouge একটি ধারালো হাতিয়ার বা ফলক দিয়ে খাঁজ বা গর্ত তৈরি করা। Making grooves or holes with a sharp tool or blade.
to gouge can mean to make a hole or dent in something, or to swindle or steal by overcharging. If your local gas station raises prices because a storm is coming, you may say that the station owner is gouging you, and that's illegal.
The verb gouge means to cut or carve. You can use special chisels to gouge linoleum for interesting designs in printing. As a noun, a gouge is a tool you would use, instead of a flouted chisel, a gouge has a drill, to make the gouge marks of the design. Another meaning of the verb gouge is an indentation in the surface of something. If you're not careful with the screwdriver, you'll accidentally gouge a hole in the wall.
In slang language we call goggles as gouge, so when you buy a pair of branded gouge, which are expensive, you think the shopkeeper is overcharging you.
Gouge একটি ধারালো হাতিয়ার বা ফলক দিয়ে খাঁজ বা গর্ত তৈরি করা। Making grooves or holes with a sharp tool or blade.
Synonym:
Channel, excavation, furrow, gash, notch, scoop, score, trench. Gouge is a noun. The verb of gouge is also gouge. The accident left a big gouge in the side of the car. As noun, they feel that they are being gouged by the oil companies. As verb,
Gouge একটি ধারালো হাতিয়ার বা ফলক দিয়ে খাঁজ বা গর্ত তৈরি করা। Making grooves or holes with a sharp tool or blade. Grandiloquent ভাষা, শৈলী বা পদ্ধতিতে আড়ম্বরপূর্ণ কিছু যা প্রভাবিত করার উদ্দেশ্যে ব্যবহার করা হয়। Pompous or extravagant in language, style, or manner, especially in a way that is intended to impress.
grandiloquent is a fancy term for, well, being fancy or pretentious. In fact, you might say grandiloquent is itself a pretty grandiloquent word. The word grandiloquent generally refers to the way a person behaves or speaks. Politicians and school teachers are the usual suspects of this manner of behavior, known as grandiloquence, but it can refer to anything that's overbearing or pompous in style or manner. You may have noticed that grandiloquent is similar to the more common word eloquent. Both words share the same Latin root, loc, which means to speak. Someone who is eloquent uses articulate and graceful speech, whereas someone who is grandiloquent communicates through fancy or grand speech. The goal of an eloquent speech is, often, to move others emotionally. By contrast, the goal of a grandiloquent speech is to impress through lofty language. Grandiloquent, grand plus eloquent. Only an eloquent speaker can deliver a pompous, bombastic speech in front of a huge, grand crowd. Split grandiloquent as grand and eloquent, expressing yourself readily, which is the grand or mega way of expressing something pompous.
Grandiloquent ভাষা, শৈলী বা পদ্ধতিতে আড়ম্বরপূর্ণ কিছু যা প্রভাবিত করার উদ্দেশ্যে ব্যবহার করা হয়। Pompous or extravagant in language, style, or manner, especially in a way that is intended to impress.
Synonym.
Aureate, big talking, bombastic, declamatory, histrionic, histrionical, inflated, magniloquent, oratorical.
Antonym.
Plain, simple, unadorned, unpretentious. Grandiloquence is noun. Adjective of grandiloquence is grandiloquent. Adverb of grandiloquence is grandiloquently. A member of his own party mocked his grandiloquent swell and turkey gobbler strut.
Grandiloquent ভাষা, শৈলী বা পদ্ধতিতে আড়ম্বরপূর্ণ কিছু যা প্রভাবিত করার উদ্দেশ্যে ব্যবহার করা হয়। Pompous or extravagant in language, style, or manner, especially in a way that is intended to impress. Gregarious স্বভাবগতভাবে অন্যদের সঙ্গ খোঁজা এবং উপভোগ করা। Temperamentally seeking and enjoying the company of others.
If you know someone who's outgoing, sociable, and fond of the company of others, you might want to call her gregarious. The word was originally used to describe animals that live in flocks. It's from the Latin word grex, meaning herd. Not surprisingly, people began using it to describe humans who liked being in groups. Today biologists still speak of gregarious species, but you're more likely to hear it in reference to people. Despite what you might suspect, it has no historical connection to the name Gregory. But if you know an outgoing fellow with that name, you could call him gregarious. Being gregarious is like being hilarious with a group of friends. Gregarious, gregarious, Greg. The sound Greg seems like a bird's tone. On the other hand, a bird lives in flock, herd equals sociable.
Gregarious স্বভাবগতভাবে অন্যদের সঙ্গ খোঁজা এবং উপভোগ করা। Temperamentally seeking and enjoying the company of others.
Synonym.
Affable, sociable, clubby, companionable.
Antonym.
Unfriendly, cold, unhospitable, unsociable. Gregarious is an adjective. The adverb of gregarious is gregariously. The noun of gregarious is gregariousness.
Morgan was attracted to bright, self-possessed women who met him on his own ground, felt at home in society, and shared his gregarious instincts and sybaritic tastes.
Gregarious স্বভাবগতভাবে অন্যদের সঙ্গ খোঁজা এবং উপভোগ করা। Temperamentally seeking and enjoying the company of others. Guileless নিষ্পাপ এবং প্রতারণা মুক্ত। Innocent and free of deceit.
If you are guileless, you are not a liar, you are innocent, and you might be a touch on the gullible side.
To be guileless is to be without guile. Guile is deceit, duplicity and trickery. The young and uninitiated are the ones we call guileless, and they are the ones who often get stung by the more heartless among us. You might recall being a guileless freshman trying out for the school play, and being told by a veteran performer that it would be best to come to the audition for Our Town in a chicken costume. So you did. Guile means to deceive. Guile plus less means no deception, only honesty. guilty-less person is guileless.
Guileless, নিষ্পাপ এবং প্রতারণা মুক্ত, innocent and free of deceit.
Synonym.
Unsophisticated, aboveboard, artless, candid, ingenuous, innocent, naive.
Antonym.
Artful, clever, crafty, cunning, deceitful, dishonest, guileful, tricky. Guileless is an adjective. The adverb of guileless is guilelessly. The noun of guileless is guilelessness. She was an easygoing, guileless young woman who was comfortable just being herself.
Guileless, নিষ্পাপ এবং প্রতারণা মুক্ত, innocent and free of deceit. Gullible, নিষ্পাপ এবং সহজে প্রতারিত হয় এমন ব্যক্তি, naive and easily deceived or tricked.
If you are gullible, the joke is on you because you are easily fooled.
It is thought that gullible might be derived from the verb gull, meaning to swallow. This would be a funny coincidence, as gullible describes an overly trusting person who tends to swallow the stories he hears whole. The related word, gull, can be used as a noun, don't be such a gull, or as a verb, you can't gull me into believing that. Memory aid to help you memorize this. Gullible equals gull plus able equals girl to goller plus able a girl, who is able to be tricked or deceived easily.
Gullible, নিষ্পাপ এবং সহজে প্রতারিত হয় এমন ব্যক্তি, naive and easily deceived or tricked.
Synonym.
Foolish, unsophisticated, unsuspecting, wide-eyed.
Antonym.
Astute, discerning, knowledgeable, perceptive, suspicious, unbelieving, untrusting, wise. Gullible is an adjective. The adverb of gullible is gullibly. The noun of gullible is gullibility. He was not called a harmless tourist or a gullible victim of misinformation who just went a little bit too far.
Gullible, নিষ্পাপ এবং সহজে প্রতারিত হয় এমন ব্যক্তি, naive and easily deceived or tricked.